The SAT has probably been a fixture in your mind since you were a kid. It's a common reference point in popular culture, and for good reason. It's a really important test. But just because it's important doesn't mean that it has to be scary. And if you're finding it scary, I hope that this video will give you some important solace. Now, you may have done SAT prep already. Maybe you took a course, used a book, or worked with a tutor. So you had a long-term plan for getting ready for this high-stakes exam. But sometimes those long-term arrangements don't include the shortest-term plans that you'll need. Specifically, what do you do the day before the SAT? Well, folks, I'm going to start with some general advice, and then we're going to get more and more specific. My general advice is, number one, don't freak out. You've prepped, you're smart, you've totally got this. Okay, but I'm the editor-in-chief of the Princeton Review, so you're probably thinking, doesn't this guy have advice that's better than don't freak out? Folks, fear not, I do. Let's get the most obvious tips out of the way first. Number one, confirm that you know exactly where your test center is and how to get there. If you haven't been there before, do a dry run. This is the most basic prep, because if you can't get to the test, you can't take it. Also, make sure that you've got your go bag ready. College Board provides two lists, the must-haves and the nice-to-haves. The must-haves include admission ticket, acceptable photo ID, 2 number 2 pencils with erasers, and an approved calculator. Now, on the other list, the nice-to-have list, a non-beeping watch, extra batteries and backup equipment, a bag or a backpack, and drinks and snacks for your break. While you're packing your bag, you should also pick out clothes you plan on wearing for the test. Friendly reminder, folks, you don't need to dress to impress. And I don't care if all 10 of your crushes will be there. You should definitely prioritize comfort over style, and always layer. You don't know which of the 4 seasons your testing room will feature, and maybe you'll experience more than one. And oh, if you have a lucky shirt, it won't hurt to include that in your wardrobe plans. Another important thing you can do is actually something you're not going to do, and that is to learn new information. Folks, your studying is done. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't review material. You absolutely can, and I recommend working through problems that you've done in the past, refamiliarizing yourself with steps to solve them. This can help you boost your confidence and get you into that problem-solving mode. You can also review explanations or notes from your prep. Just don't spend time learning new information the day before the test. The SAT is not a test that lends itself to cramming. On the morning of the test, you can also work through easy problems, 1 or 2. The point is to wake up your brain, not to overwhelm it with extremely challenging problems. Think about jogging up the block before a big race. You want to warm up your muscles, not run an entire practice race beforehand. So just do enough to warm up and save major mental exertion for the actual test. Don't forget to take care of yourself physically as well. First off, do some light exercise during the day, but not too late, as it can cause sleeping problems. Now, exercise will help you relax and likely sleep better, and it will also help you think better on the day of the test. But don't overdo it. This isn't a day for a 20-mile run in preparation for your marathon. Just do enough to work up a sweat and settle your nerves. You can also do some jumping jacks or other light exercise after you wake up on the morning of the test. The night before the test, eat a good meal. Don't be adventurous. You don't want any surprises on test day. Get your favorite meal and build up some energy stores for the next morning. Another good thing to do, hydrate. Obviously, you don't want to consume a gallon of water right before you go to bed, but drinking water throughout the day will help you stay hydrated, and that's so important. Now, speaking of going to bed, the standard advice people always give, and you've probably heard it many times before, is to get a good night's sleep right before a big test. And if you can, you should. But I'm going to go against conventional wisdom here, folks. If you have a fitful night's sleep right before the SAT, don't fret. Many athletes swear by the 2-night rule, which says the night before the event is more important. And in general, if you're able to go through the test generally rested, even if you didn't sleep amazingly well the night prior, you will be in tip-top shape. That being said, don't do things that will actively inhibit your sleep, like staying out really late at a party. Instead, try to engage yourself in an activity that you'll find relaxing, low-key, and definitely fun. If it involves laughter, all the better. It can help relieve stress. Also, if you're not taking sleeping aids per your doctor's orders, now is not the time to start. You never quite know how your body will react, and you certainly don't want to be groggy during the exam. Plus, remember the 2-night rule. Don't sweat sleep so much, folks. Even just resting your body is so important. And one final note about sleep, or rather waking up: set an alarm, a loud one, or possibly 2. Basically, you want to try to make sure that you won't accidentally oversleep, because that is sure to cause major stress in the morning, and stress is the one thing that you definitely want to avoid. Of course, all your preparation is the best stress reliever. If you're experiencing a lot of test anxiety, unfortunately, you're not alone. Watch our test anxiety videos to learn proven strategies for relieving your test-related stress. And before you do that, you can start right now by taking a deep breath, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Folks, as always, thanks so much for watching. I hope this video allayed some of your pre-test jitters. Of course, subscribe to our channel for all of the latest strategies and tips for relieving your test anxiety and acing the SAT. Please know that we here at the Princeton Review are rooting for you every step of the way.